Well, I'm sure that many of you have a classroom pet. It might be a few fish, a hamster, maybe a turtle, even a guinea pig named, I don't know, maybe Lewis White. Well, recently we met Noel, a third grader at the Hudson Montessori School in Hudson, Ohio, who wrote a story about a classroom pet named S'more. That was turned into a podcast by Story Pirates. Noel told us that on road trips, his family likes to listen to the Story Pirates podcast. The podcast encourages children to write stories and send them in to be turned into podcasts or songs, and Noel did just that. His story featured a story about how his class named a new pet. In the story, the third grade classes compete against each other at field day for a delicious taco lunch. Before the class could compete, they had to choose a name for the mascot. The class in Noel's story took this responsibility very seriously. The class then voted on the options: Jim, Fluffy, S'mores, Guinea, and Lewis White. As the pressure built and the other third grade classes practiced the egg and the spoon race, the class finally settled on the name S'mores. But there's a shocking twist, and the guinea pig, who of course can talk in the story, has other ideas. Now, we're not going to spoil the surprise ending for you. Noel told us that he loves absurd stories, and among tales he loves to read are the Big Nate series, Harry Potter, and the Wayside stories from the Wayside School. Noel's mother told us that he's a very creative person and enjoys writing stories. His little sister Maisie, who's just 4, even gets involved in writing stories and recently narrated a story to send to the Story Pirates. It was called The Coffee Cup That Never Stops Talking. Noel not only tells audio stories, but he also makes short movies and writes books, and he's even an actor. He'll be performing in his community's performance of Matilda the Musical this spring. Now, he told us that he and a friend recently finished a suspense movie called The Lost Cabin. And he and another friend are working on a book called SUDA. SUDA is an acronym, by the way, for Secret Underage Detective Agency. When we asked Noel for some advice, he told us that editing is an important part of the creative process. Always make sure you have people edit your work because you'll always end up with a better story. Noel's classroom actually does have a guinea pig named S'more. He wanted us to tell you that S'more is a singular guinea pig. That's why his name doesn't have an S. S'mores. This week's A+ Award winner then is Noel, the story pirate from Hudson. Good job, Noel.